Men can't do a lot of things that women can do. We can't bear children or talk complete nonsense and get away with it because we're cute. We can't even stand with our hands on our hips, rolling our eyes and tapping one foot at the same time because it just looks silly when we do it. But at least we can spend a little time each month feeling out of sorts and depressed by visiting our favorite website, Everyday Feminism. Everyday Feminism is the site that empowers women and minorities by making them feel angry over every little thing so that they're never satisfied with anything and ultimately end up alone in their room sobbing because people are sick and tired of hearing them complain. This month's best post on Everyday Feminism is entitled, quote, "Coming out as queer is even more complicated for a fat person," unquote. Now, that title may strike some of you as hilarious, but that's only because you have a sense of humor. To most of the readers of Everyday Feminism, fat queerdom is a deeply serious matter, which of course only makes it that much more hilarious for the rest of us. The post begins, quote, "I came out as fat to myself about 5 years ago." Now, let me stop right there. I find this sentence fascinating. The woman who wrote this post had to come out to herself as fat. One day she sat down with herself in a chair or two, looking herself in the face, and she said, "I hate to break this to you, but I'm fat." Whereupon she answered herself by saying, "Yes, I've suspected you were fat for a long time, but I'm glad you finally felt comfortable telling me." After that, she hugged herself and some tears were shed and she was able to move on. It was a very touching moment. Dr. Carla Pfeffer, an assistant professor of sociology and women's and gender studies, or nonsense, as it's technically called, explains, quote, "People assume that since fatness is so visible, there is no need for fat people to come out as fat. But some people view coming out as fat as a way of taking back and reclaiming the discourse around fatness," unquote. I have no idea what that means, but I'm sure Dr. Pfeffer doesn't either. Otherwise, she'd be doing something more useful than teaching gender studies, like standing on one foot balancing a pencil on her nose. But coming out as fat is apparently not so easy if you have to come out as queer at the same time. The post continues, quote, "Gay fat cis men are deemed feminine because they are fat. Lesbian fat cis women must deal with the narrative that they chose lesbianism because their fat bodies make it impossible for any man to ever be attracted to them." This paragraph raises the all-important question: why does it never occur to anyone at Everyday Feminism that with just a little bit of courage, you don't have to care what people say about you? Still, you might want to lose some weight. Trigger warning, I'm Andrew Klavan. This is The Andrew Klavan Show.